Welcome to a Board President CEO chat. I'm Kathy Ulm, CEO of PATH International, and with me is Sue Becklenberg, past president of the PATH International Board. We're here today to briefly bring you some insights into a positive board CEO working relationship, how that leads to overall organizational success, and why we personally think that the Innovation Circles Board Development course offers a clear path to that success. Sue, tell me from your experience, how would you describe a positive board CEO relationship and a good board president CEO relationship?
I think it's much more than just having good communication. I think it's really understanding how the other person sets their priorities. How do they problem solve? And being able to understand that from both sides of the fence and a big commitment, a strong commitment to working those things out in order to move the organization forward, regardless of your own personal preferences.
I completely agree. The other thing I would add is how important it is to have really clear, a clear understanding of roles and responsibilities,
I agree. I
right?
agree.
So everybody knows what their job is, and so they can function really well in a great partnership.
And I almost put that underneath the category of just strong mutual respect.
That is key, absolutely key. And so in your experience, how is that positive relationship created and how is it maintained?
Well, at the very start of my term as president, you and I did an American Society of Association Executives workshop. It was a very intense 2-day workshop. And it wasn't on how to get along with each other. It was a lot of it was how to understand ourselves and how we reacted to things and how we were approaching these jobs. A lot of it was on whose role is whose and how to negotiate when it kind of overlapped. It was interesting. A lot of people in the room were there because of conflicts. What you and I discovered was that we had to be careful because sometimes we thought too much alike.
That's right. That's right. I remember that. And that was so valuable to figuring out how you and I were going to work together, me as CEO and you as board president. And I think it also gave you some clear ideas about how to lead and manage the board as well. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
that's very accurate. And now I'm sitting in a position of just the opposite. I started a baby center 4 years ago, and I will actually put a plug in here for Innovation Circles because I started checking this out. I have lots of board experience. My center is at very early stages, and I didn't think any of this would fit. I did the survey, the assessment survey, and it clarified for me just exactly where the holes were in what I'm trying to resolve. So I would encourage everybody, if you're even thinking about this, go take that assessment survey. It will help clarify things.
Oh, that is great to hear. And I guess for me, the ASAE course for the board president and the CEO, what continues to be pivotal. It is something I do every time I have a new board president. And that's why no matter where people are at in terms of their learning and their understanding of boards or their own role, the innovation circles can take you to the next level because we do that assessment and figure out where you are in your leadership style and level and where your center is. And then we group you together so that you are getting the kind of information that is most pertinent to you. The other thing I love about the innovation circles, the board development course, is that there's an opportunity at each level for a +1 to attend. So this is a great opportunity for staff and board to attend together, much like Sue and I did with the ASAE course, much like I've done with other board members.
And frankly, I think the Innovation Circles is offering that same opportunity that we had with ASAE, but it's a lot more economical and a lot, you don't have to travel halfway across the world and spend 2 days in a hotel. You can do this from home over the next 6 months to a year and I think get the same benefit.
I would completely agree. In some ways, it's nice that it's broken up by 90 minutes monthly. So 90 minutes monthly, you are focused on your board, you are focused on the CEO, you're focused on that relationship. And then afterwards, for 6 months, you get one-to-one coaching to continue the learning and to continue reaching goals to have a really highly functioning board. Each organizational stage will offer great content, including recruitment and engagement ideas for board members, as well as board member responsibilities. It is I wish I had had this opportunity when I was first executive director of Little Bit. It is a fabulous time to not only gain more good knowledge about a highly functioning board, but also a time to connect with colleagues and find those people. This is always, whenever anybody asks me, what do you credit your leadership success to? One of the things I always say is having found colleagues that could be my circle, that could be my support, that I could bounce ideas off of. And Innovation Circles provides that opportunity as well.
My dream right now is to use this to be able to build a board that is as functional and high level functioning as you have built in the Path board.
Well, that's very nice, Sue. I didn't do it alone. That's why the whole thing about going together to that kind of
Yes.
workshop, you and I did it together, as I've done it with other board presidents over the years. So we're going to put in a final plug to all of you listening. The Innovation Circles, the board development series, is a great way to strengthen the working relationship between the ED and the board, as well as understand where your board is at and what you need to do to take them to the next level. So we invite you to please take the assessment and take a look at that and consider investing in your organization, investing in your board, and investing in yourself.
Agreed.